Good afternoon, Grace Covenant, and welcome to our time together on this Friday in the middle of October already for a time of devotion. I missed you the last couple of weeks. As many of you know, I was having a procedure to repair a congenital defect in my heart, and things are going well, and I feel great and appreciate your continued thoughts and prayers during this ongoing time of recovery. And, the world keeps spinning forward and a lot continues to happen. And as I've been sitting quietly and recovering, and I've been reflecting on a number of things. And one of the things I've been doing recently is continuing to reacquaint myself with the church's hymnal. This book is a repository of amazing journeys of people of faith throughout the history of the entire church. And we're going to have a drive-by here at church in a couple of weeks, and you can actually check out a hymnal if you don't already have one. They're great sources of devotion and inspiration, and I would encourage you to come by and pick one up, check one out. They're not doing us any good sitting in the pews right now, and we'd much rather have them in your hands, in your homes, where you can use them and make use of them in your personal devotional life or playing the piano, however they would be helpful. But in this time of stewardship, I wanted to read from the pen of a saint of the church who wrote a hymn that is probably familiar to most of us. Now thank we all our God, with hearts and hands and voices, who wondrous things have done, in whom this world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. Martin Rinker was a Lutheran pastor in the 1600s. And in fact, he was a Lutheran pastor right in the middle of the 30 Years' War and the plague of 1637 that wiped out almost his entire village, almost his entire congregation, and he even lost his wife and was left to care for his children while caring for a dying congregation and dealing with the loss of 40 to 50 people in his town every day. And yet he wrote these words. Now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices. What wondrous things hath done, who wondrous things hath done, and in whom this world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. We continue to face an awful lot. And one of the things that looking back in the hymnal teaches us is that while things can seem unbearable at times, while we find ourselves living in a world of chaos, maybe unlike anything we've ever experienced, there's a little comfort in knowing that God's people throughout time have had to endure hardships, loss, war, division, and yet they find a way to be thankful and to be grateful. It doesn't mean that we're not in difficult times, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't acknowledge that and work for change, but I want us to think in this time right now, in the midst of everything that's going on, where do we see hope? Where can we give thanks? When you think about a man who lost his congregation, who lived through a lengthy war and disease, lost his own wife, sitting down to write a hymn of thanks and praise, what would you write today? Listen to the entire hymn now as I read this text. Now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices, who wondrous things hath done, in whom this world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. Oh, may this bounteous God through all our life be near us, with ever joyful hearts and blessed peace to cheer us. And keep us in God's grace and guide us when perplexed, and free us from all ills in this world and the next. All praise and thanks to God, who reigns in the highest heaven. To Father and to Son and Spirit now be given, the one eternal God, whom heaven and earth adore, the God who was and is and shall be evermore. Grace Covenant, may you continue to find ways to be thankful during these days. May you look for people and saints to inspire you, to comfort you, to walk the journey with you, to know that many, many centuries of people have gone before and endured much and have borne witness to God's work in their lives and in their times. And we will do the same and are doing the same with every breath we take and every step forward we make during this time of pandemic. So be encouraged. Get a hymnal. I'd love for you to have one. Make it a part of your ongoing spiritual journey, and know that you are loved and that you are prayed for on a daily basis. And it is with a grateful heart that I give thanks to be back with you. Thanks be to God. Amen.